Absolutely.
Obviously, you're not a golfer.
You want a tow? I can get you a tow. Believe me. There are ways, dude. You don't want to know about it, believe me.
Yeah, but Walter.
Hell, I can get you a tow by 3 o'clock this afternoon with nail polish.
That rug really tied the room together, did it not?
Yes, it did. We got a little bit of a cold, so I got some real cool ASMR going. My name, Smoking Joe Eastwood, the Midnight Hour. What if we just started talking like this for the WDBX listeners at midnight?
I don't know if they like that or not.
I bet they'd love it.
You think?
You're gonna love it, you frickin' cucks. Listen, you Carbondale cucks. I know Carbondale's known for one thing
Cucks.
only, cucks. I heard that 95% of all cuck videos originate from Carbondale,
I heard
Illinois.
that too.
Somebody told me that Carbondale actually invented the idea of cucks. They had the cuckoo bird there. They claimed it as their city bird. Of course, I come from the town of Shella. Our city bird is a
War Eagle.
war. Of course, war eagles are particular only to Shella, native here. Much like the cuckoo was native to Carbondale, and people noted that when, after mating, the female would let many other birds mate with her, and force all the other sexual partners to watch. Hence,
I've heard that too.
Carbondale. Well, it must be true. Carbondale City Park. I heard that Carbondale, in Latin, actually means cuck. Cuckdale is basically what the city's.
I've heard that.
Somebody told me.
You see my new watch? You got a new watch?
Hey, look at that.
It's
That's
big.
awesome.
It's
It's nice.
substantial.
It is substantial. I can
It's
watch
got
it.
it's got a built-in compass.
Compass?
It's got it checks the barometer and it'll give you a forecast on the barometer.
No
readings,
way.
And, yeah, then it's not a smartwatch, which is what I like.
That's fun. Yeah.
So when the grid goes down,
Still got your barometer.
I can still find my
Hey,
way out
baby.
here to do the show.
Might rain later.
You think? Yeah.
Can you do anything about the zombie horde outside the house?
Nope.
They might get wet though in a little bit. I got July, and Michelle got me
Yeah,
this
that's
sweet
Pretty snazzy.
Doe of the Dead
Yeah.
swatch.
I like
It's got all the Simpsons and Bart glows in the dark. Of course, Shark hated it because there's no numbers on it. He's like, "How are you supposed to
He'll
tell?"
love this. It's digital.
It's like, well, the flowers indicate numbers,
Right.
sort of. I have one watch that it just has minutes,
Yeah.
and if you know where to look, it tells you what hour it is. But it just from on the surface, it just looks like it's a minute hand, and it just drove Shark insane that someone would wear a watch that just had minutes on it, no indication of the hour. It's like, it is, but you just have to know where. He's like, no, you just need to look, and that's it. I was like, well, you just want one of those old silver
Yeah.
Timex.
The old Casio.
Or Casio, that's what it was. I was like, I thought that, and I was like, they make keyboards. Hey, I didn't introduce anybody. My name's Joseph Eastwood. I'm going to keep going back into this voice for the radio listeners in the midnight hour. Hey, I just want to say out there to the roosters, we hear that the bad boy skulls are looking for you. So roosters, if you want to get back to the strip, look out. We hear. You better take.
I'm going to let you finish this.
I'm fine with the awkward silence. I like to sit in it. Listen, roosters. Word on the street You'll never make it back to the strip alive because the skull's got it in for you, daddy-os. Now, on with the show. It's a little reference to the Warriors.
Yeah. I knew where you were going. Man.
Maybe we should talk about it off air. All right. Yes, my name is Joseph.
There's something we can't talk about on air. Of all the topics we've
I
broached.
just called the entire city of Carbondale a bunch of cucks. I'm like, we better talk about this when we get off of here.
If you get a problem with it, come to Scheller and face me.
But look out for the War Eagles.
Peck your eyes.
They're what we call sparrows.
Honor little things.
Joseph Eastwood Fresh, America's foremost cowboy, purveyor of outlaw country and blues music. An American Lion, Southern Illinois proud, and this is James Koppel, America's foremost friend. And
root beer drinker.
And rootin' tootin' cowboy drinker. Wait, it's not cowboy drinker.
I don't drink cowboys at all.
Be a real strange.
Be real
taste.
weird.
Be real
It's getting
weird.
real
Man.
weird in here.
Hey man, you ever drank a cowboy?
You should.
Oh, no, it's a little early.
Havoc's the name of the movie.
Yes, we did a movie. Hey, the dude, the Pinky and the other dudes out in the other place where we record. So I like that the Lego, the Fago, sets here. Yes, we did.
That's all I could afford.
Oh, I don't. Well, Lego's too cool to do the dude, anyways. Have you seen that the dude? He's like going on tour with the Big Lebowski, like showing it in theaters, I guess. And he does an interview after or something. And he is like totally behind the fan theory that Donnie's not real. I'm just like, that's such a stupid theory. He's like, yeah, I think it could be real. I watched it that way and it works. I was like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't work that way. He talks to him. He tells him thanks. He's like, the only thing he says to him is thank you. And that was just to appease Walter. It's Walter's PTSD friend. It's an imaginary friend who because nobody talks to him except for Walter. He says, but when he says thank you, he's like, that was just a dude effing with Walter. Because he knows that Donnie.
He does say something to him outside the bowling alley. Whenever he's walking off and he's like, phone's ringing, dude. He's like,
right.
Thanks, Donnie.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And he said that was just to appease Walter. I was like, well, Walter's not talking. How does he know what his imaginary friend's saying?
Right.
And then where do the ashes come from? And he said, well, I imagined. He's like, it's so much work. He's like, I imagined that the dude went there and was like, I have this problem, whatever. I have a troubled friend. And he's going to bury a ghost. Can you just put some ashes in a can for us?
They could have come from the grill, you know.
But why would he get so upset then when they got all over him?
Because it got all over him in
But
his face.
Still, it's not real. I don't know.
I don't know. It's not that big a reach, but
also he says they shot him, man. During the fight.
Maybe it was actually Walter that got shot. Who knows? And
he says, "No, it was just a heart attack or whatever." I don't know. I think it's weird that he's buying into that theory.
Yeah.
It's a fun theory.
It is a fun theory,
but I don't. It's
there's a couple holes in it, but
a few holes, and
I mean, look at the stuff we overlook in some of the other movies.
That's true. Speaking of, the movie we are doing today is the new Netflix Gareth Evans. One of my favorite directors out there, movie HAVOC.
Which is not the original HAVOC that I looked up on Prime.
Oh, no.
Because I was like, what did he tell me to look this up on? And I was like, just go to Prime. It'll be on there. And it was a movie about 3 girls. And it was man, I was like watching the preview. I was like, I'm not seeing the fight scenes here.
That's really funny.
I haven't seen Laurel and Hardy yet. So
how did you find it?
Well, I went back and referenced the text where you told me exactly where to find it.
Oh,
I was
here
like,
we go.
oh, it's Netflix, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. So Gareth Evans, of those you don't know, has directed. He's the movies he's most known for are the Raid movies, Indonesian, just well choreographed, unbelievably well shot, fun action movies. And he made another movie called Apostle, which I really like. And they're usually just like the fight scenes go on forever and ever and ever. This was his real kind of first foray into American actors
Cinema.
making an American
Yeah.
movie. We'll get to Tie Dream Together and all that, but just start to say, I was a little let down that there was so much gunplay.
Well, it's for Americans.
Well, that was my thought. Was like, did Netflix tell him like we can't have 15-minute fight scenes because the Raid is just full of
Well, also,
15
I
minute
think
fight
whenever
scenes.
you get American actors, they're not.
They can't.
They
That's-
can't pull off a
That
15-minute
was my
kung
other-
fu scene. Where
That was my other thought. Was like, but Tom Hardy, I think he could have. He was.
he did all right in some of the. But
that Warrior movie.
Yeah.
Great in that movie. He's great as Bane. I don't know. I just was like, he does some pretty good fighting. A couple really good fight scenes in it, but there's a couple. I took horrible notes for this. There's a couple scenes that are super cool, and I was talking about it with my wife, and I was like, that was great. If it was one of his other movies, there would be 12 of those scenes in this movie instead of just 5. Well, you watched The Night Comes For Us. That's very much, those are the two guys.
Day man. Ah.
Those two guys are, Charlie. They're his like main actors, and so it's very much in the same vein of like, we're gonna fight, now we're gonna up that fight, and now the next fight's gonna be even crazier than the last fight. I didn't necessarily get that from this. So yeah, what were your first impressions of HAVOC?
I liked it. I thought they Hollywooded it up a little bit. Just there was a couple CGI things maybe that I saw that I was like,
That's probably, to be honest with you, that's probably Gareth. He is not afraid to be like, I want a crazy big long shot here, and if I have to CGI a semi in here to make it look realistic, to make it work, that's just what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But
the thing that stood out to me the most was there was a scene with some broken glass that was falling, and it fell on someone. And I was like, that just looks CGI,
okay,
like completely.
I didn't catch
but
that.
Again,
there was a shot. Something was weird about that semi in the front, in the very first shot.
Yeah.
When it was driving, it was a cityscape. I don't know. It just looked odd to me. It was very gritty though. He like put so much grain on the colorization of it when he color timed it. It's so grainy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a choice. But go ahead.
I think my favorite shot of the movie, and it's just how he did it.
There's a couple really
There's
awesome
the
shots.
semi, and the cops are coming by,
Mm-hmm.
and it was right after the cop car wrecked,
Yeah.
and the semi comes by,
Yes.
and then the camera doesn't move, and then all of a sudden there's like 20 seconds, and then the camera just raises up to the bridge up above, and
And
then the
you see
semi goes
those-
by.
yes,
and then
that's right.
I was like, man, that's a cool shot.
Yeah. I think him and his cinematographer are just some of the best out there, really. Because of stuff like that. I think I've talked about them before, that like how they will have like 4 or 5 camera operators set up in strategic places and literally be passing them through moving cars, like on highway. That's how they get some of those shots. Some of them, there was one shot early on, it might have been that one, that starts real far. Like it starts, you're like, well, that's a drone shot. And it just keeps moving in until it's just like down into the car. I was like, well, now it's clearly handheld. What I'm pretty sure, I don't think that was a pass. I think he had money from Netflix, and I'm pretty sure what they did was like they had to set up things.
Maybe they just grabbed the drone out of the air and just kept moving it.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's very rough and tumble indie style filmmaker, but I think he had a little bit more money, and I could tell in a couple things that he actually set up where it was they matched the shot perfectly. So they had multiple cameras going, and then when this one came in, they just matched the next shot from the camera to it, and kept going that way. Otherwise, if they didn't do it that way, I have no clue how they would have done it. Right. The coolest shot for me was it's the nightclub scene, which the nightclub scene might be just my favorite scene of the whole movie. Yeah. I guess we'll get to it. HAVOC stars Tom Hardy and Forrest Whitaker, and a few.
Forrest was good. Forrest was
good. Yeah, I always like Forrest.
Yeah, he's never bad. Yeah, it's just some of his roles I don't.
Mm-hmm. I like him as the guy in Star Wars movie. Baba, talks like this.
I noticed.
Now I got it.
Before we get too deep into this, we Dream a Little Dream. Carrie Williams.
Yes, one of our
commented on that.
listeners.
I just happened to stumble back upon that 2 days ago.
Yeah,
I think, and I was like, well, there's a comment. I got to see what this is. And
I usually don't read them because they're usually, I put a lot of stuff out there, so comments aren't always great for me. But no, I saw her not too long ago.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
Yeah, but and it was a very much like Carrie. It was a very thoughtful what was it? It was a thoughtful hot take. Oh, she thought it's the best soundtrack.
Yeah,
of all the Corey
movies. Glad we did the movie.
Yeah,
because she loved that.
And movie. She might be right. We should do some more. We should do the other two just to compare the soundtracks and just to see.
Yeah,
we definitely need to do License to Drive.
Yeah,
that was
Dream a Little Dream too.
Oh man, I bet the soundtrack got real bad.
Yeah, because Corey. Yeah, Feldman did. Feldman was responsible for 2.
Yeah. It's all about, yeah. We read the thing on it, and I was like, oh, man, I don't know if
It's got to be done, dude.
We can do it.
It's like watching Boondock Saints and not watching Boondock Saints 2.
Oh, God. That's one of those you're just
which
like,
really makes you appreciate the first one.
Yeah. It's like watching The Big Lebowski. Still haven't watched it. We sticking with that, even though we just had an in-depth discussion about it. Still haven't seen it.
I found
love the references.
I found a kit like this, and it's Breaking Bad.
Oh,
so it's their cook RV, and then there's a little box here, and it's got a bunch of blue meth in it that sits outside of it. It's pretty sweet. I almost bought it. It was
That's
like 17.
fun.
I was like $17.
$17, not bad. I saw a Lego one very similar. It was the house he lived in, and it was the car, and the pizza was on top of the roof.
Nice.
Yeah, it was $385.
Holy crap!
I'm just joking.
It wouldn't surprise me though.
It sounded right, though, didn't it?
With Lego.
Yeah, Lego. You'll
Instead
be like
fake Go.
You'll be like, oh, that's really cool. It's a Indiana Jones.
It's that piece that broke off the Millennium Falcon in that one scene. It's $937, and it's this big.
Yeah. Oh, it's Indiana Jones with the knight from the last. And he's got the Grail and the chasm and the German chick. That's awesome. Oh, it's $700.
And the guy actually melts, but that's it. Like the piece is gone now.
Yeah, it's a one-time toy. New
so once you open the Grail.
New from Lego. Build it, open the Grail, it destroys it. Buy it again. I mean, if I had a Grail.
Don't like Indiana Jones? Here's a Death Star. Take pictures.
Realistic toys to movies. Oh, it's funny.
Fall down the toilet. Biodegradable.
Reminds me of
that biodegradable Darth Maul. That thing was awesome for like 14 seconds.
Dude, it was so cool. I don't know why I fucking hit the button. I should have just kept it. The next thing in collectibles are toys that self-destruct.
It reminds me of
only nerds don't.
The Big Bang Theory episode where they
never seen a single. That's not true. I see a minute of an episode one time.
So, both main characters get gifted a Star Trek teleporter thing, and it has like a Spock figurine with it.
Okay,
and they're like this big. And basically, you just put the figurine in and hit it, and it spins, but it kind of makes it look like it's got graphics and stuff on it. So Sheldon, he gets his out fine. He's like he keeps having dreams about playing with it. He's, the guy's like 35. So he's like, finally, he's like, whatever. He opens it up and he's like, he gets it out of the box and he's playing with it. And he hits it like twice and it breaks.
Oh, no.
So he goes and gets the other guys and swaps them. And then the guy's girlfriend that gave both of them the gift. She's like, convinces him. She's like, why don't you get it out and play with it? And he's like, fine. And finally he breaks it. He's like, fine. And he gets it out and it's broken already.
Whoa, halfway through. I thought it was going to jump and then, like, get one of those cut to 60 years. He's an old man. He's like, finally going to play with it.
The whole time it's broken.
What the?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I love that show. I'm surprised you don't watch it. There's a lot of good stuff there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I was going to say it reminded me of the Impractical Jokers where they had to sell. The toy was toilet soldiers. And it was like
Throw them in a grow or
no, it was just like you set up these soldiers on the toilet, and it was like made to go on the toilet. So it was like, here's the ladder that goes into the thing, and like I don't know. You ever watch the Practical Jokers?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the one where
I don't remember that episode.
they had to sell the idea, and it's cute, and he's like, so it's just cool. It's like you play in the toilet. Everybody's just like, what? You don't want your kids playing in the toilet? He's like,
Kids are gonna play in the toilet regardless.
It's not like in the water. It's it's around it. And he's like, play the commercial, and the commercial is like, right in the water. It's like submarine guys in there. There's a tower that goes up on the back tank. Anyway, this movie. Let's get into it. It's about. There's not really much of a setup you don't need to know. Forrest Whitaker's son is involved in a attempted drug robbery, I guess.
Something.
It's tough to say. That goes awry, and he almost kills a cop.
Delivery, I guess.
Delivery, yes. He almost kills a cop.
Technically, it wasn't him. I don't think. But he was there.
Yeah, I think it was the other kid.
Yeah.
The kid with dreads.
The kid that got what he deserved.
Yeah. That's right. He and mistakenly thought that, and the son of a triad ruler also got murdered, and they mistakenly think it's them as well. So they're like hammered from both sides. But it was actually bad cops. You figure out pretty quickly. It was Raylan. Timothy Oliphant's in this movie. He's good, and I love that they didn't give him any martial arts skills at all.
Right.
He's a big P. He's just got a gun, and that's all he can do.
I thought this was the part of the movie that didn't work for me was the plot.
Oh man, I will say his plots are never strong. They're always milky. Like what? Why do they think he did this?
If this group is this big a deal, they've got informants and information everywhere. They don't get mixed up on what happened.
Yeah, well, their main guy, their main
not that badly.
Their main guy inside the source though was a rat for the cops. So when they asked him, he pinned it on the kids. Is essentially what happened. You might have missed that because it was subtitled.
But I'm talking this huge organization, this huge crime organization is not going to go on just one little measly opinion. Like they're going to find out.
Yeah, you're right.
But other than that,
but
everything works. Everything works.
You're right. It is like I said. It's always kind of like, huh?
I've
Really?
seen weaker plots.
They're going to send this many people, for this.
Yeah.
But that's kind of
First of all, how did they get all those people through customs? Yeah,
they got sources.
This was clearly before Trump was in office.
Yeah, it was pre 9/11.
Yeah,
unless they were Saudis, then they just do whatever they want.
Back when Biden brought the towers down.
Mm-hmm. I remember that he was out there. He's like,
revisionist history.
Now, I mean, these towers, they're not doing.
Let me tell you something.
These towers, they're not doing anybody any good. They're not doing anything.
They're killing the birds. The birds fly into them.
Towers. I'm glad the towers are gone. They're killing the birds. They're killing the sea life. They give you cancer.
They block the wind, and that's why the wind turbines can't run efficiently.
No one's allowed towers anymore.
Except for me.
Except for me. Nothing over 50 feet. They give you cancer. The sound gives you ear cancer. The Big Lebowski can no longer be seen. The sound gives you cancer.
I don't even know why we bother with movies.
I don't either. We can literally just have like a trailer. I think we can have. Let me get to the part that.
Yeah, I like this movie.
I do
Let's
too.
roll it.
My favorite part though is Tom. Yeah, so Tom Hardy goes to Forrest Whitaker. They cut the part out of the trailer. Did you happen to watch the trailer?
I did not.
So
no.
the trailer, he goes to Forrest Whitaker. He's like, "Your son screwed up. I can't help him. He's got everybody after him. He's got the triads after him. He almost killed a cop. The cops are after him."
What city do you think we're in here?
I do not know. I'm thinking it's New York. They never tell you though. Shot completely in Wales,
Really?
which is interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Homer Wren, the
right.
rapper.
Ah. Yes, home of booze.
Swords.
Leprechauns.
Leprechaun.
Oh,
no.
God. Oh, God. I didn't even think about what it said. Ah, me squaw. Come hither, smoke this peace pipe in my buffalo hide.
Yeah, Lacey watched that episode. She's like, I don't know about this bit. I was like, that's freaking hilarious. That was the best one you've ever done.
I thought it was genius. I was like, that's like Simpsons level writing. Native leprechauns.
I thought it was hysterical.
I still want to kind of draw one for a tattoo or something.
I'll get it. You draw it, I'll get it.
It's classic looking leprechaun.
Right on my cheek.
Classic looking leprechaun, but he's got Native American regalia on. That's what I'm picturing.
Some war paint. Some peace pipe.
Peace pipe, a nice headdress.
Nice squaw. Laying there scalped, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be a graphic tattoo. I'm down with it.
Oh, all right.
Not that I am for scalping.
Scalping, no. I mean, depends who you're scalping.
Trump
Depends what your definition of is.
You ain't wrong.
Havoc stars
I
Tom
did
Hardy.
not scalp that woman.
I swear that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I swear, I did not scalp that woman.
That squaw. President of the United States.
Has to go on as a press conference. I swear to you, I did not scalp that squaw.
We might be over some sort of line right now.
I held a knife to her head,
She
but
ran
I
forward.
did not cut.
She ran forward.
She ran.
Couldn't be.
I did not inhale, and I did not impale.
Not while pouring coffee, man. Careful, man. There's a beverage here.
I did not impale. I may have put the knife to her scalp and made
Now I'm
it
picturing
cut.
Bill Clinton as freaking Vlad the Impaler
Cut
for
a
some
little
reason.
bit. I'm sounding like Bill Paxton.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Which is kind of fun that I have a Bill
Nobody has a
Paxton
memory
in.
over 6 months anymore, so they have no clue who we're even talking about when we talk about Bill Clinton. Only the old folks that don't watch this show would know what we're talking about.
It's the old conspirators.
And the cucks and
The Cucks and Carbondale, of course.
they've got good.
Carbondale Cooks.
We love you, Carbondale.
Is that a shirt?
I used to live there in Carbondale.
Me? No, I stayed there a lot. Is that a shirt? Carbondale Cook?
Should we make it? Start selling it like the bookstore?
But like put
See
like
how well that goes?
put the
We can sell them like
make it like
the Girl Scouts out in front of Walmart.
oh
and
that
stuff.
would be great. Or like the guys that
bloodied
are-
every time we come home.
we went through. I was joking about him being there, and then we went through Christopher. There's always dudes for some kind of organization at the stop signs at the
Yeah, yeah.
four-ways in Christopher's taking money, and they'll give you something for
That's
it.
how the
in
mayor
return.
gets paid, I think.
Well, he needs to do a better job if he's getting that kind of loot. What was I had something to say before I went there. No, well, it's gone. It'll never come back. Netflix presents HAVOC,
Movie.
starring Tom
Movie.
Hardy, Rayland. I wrote down it looks like a Gareth movie just right off the base. Starts with a car chase, cool camera work. They all have light up masks.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of a cool little touch to the beginning. I was like, oh, they're young.
Unless you're trying to get away in the dark,
Of course.
and then you're pretty screwed.
Well, that's what I was. Michelle was like, that's kind of what they light up, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. And then when I realized that all the people doing it were kind of the young punks, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to be cool,
Want
basically.
to look cool doing stuff.
Yeah, cop. Anyway, we're into the story. Tom Hardy shows up, and in the trailer, Forrest Whitaker says, "You remember, I can take you down with a phone call. I know what you did." And Tom Hardy says, "You have no idea what I did." And it's very like that. And in the movie, he's just like, "Oh, I bribed a," he starts naming off all the things he did. I was like, "Oh, I like that though. I like when a movie shows you something else in a trailer, and then it gets to that part in the movie, and you're like, I've seen this, and then it's something different. It's almost like a little trick to make you remember it.
It kind of wipes the smugness off your face.
Does.
Seen this. I knew
It really does.
They're gonna ruin this whole part for me, and then it comes and they didn't.
Anchorman
Yeah.
was very much that. Every joke that was used in the Anchorman trailer was not used in the film. So might be why it failed so miserably at the theater.
I still like Anchorman.
Oh no, I love Anchorman. It just I don't know if you remember it did poor. Like no one watched it. Went to the theater. It was after it came out on DVD.
Yeah.
And started being played on whatever that people started watching it endlessly. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I love the second Anchorman. People crapped all over the second Anchorman. I was like, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same shtick.
It's the continuation.
Yeah, if you like the first one, you're going like this.
The part where
what you want them to change? What part of this?
The part where he's blind, living in the lighthouse, is still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like that alone's good enough for me to be on there. It's him where it's like he puts his leg up on the table. It's like tried to masturbate last night. I ended up stroking my leg for an hour and a half. I shit, specific my shin for an hour. He puts his leg up. He says, "Feel that." Tell me that doesn't feel like a hard beep. I'm glad to beep out. And Paul Rudd cannot keep it together. It's just like he even reaches out and feels it. Oh shit. Okay. So, Tom Hardy's there. Forrest Whitaker's like, you got to save my kid. My kid's involved. He's like, I can't save him. He's like, you got to save him. And Tom Hardy basically says he'll do it if he will get him out of there. He's like, if you get me on a plane and I never have to see your face again, I'll do it. Which I thought was a little weak. Like, ask for something else.
He wanted him to leave.
Oh, he wanted him to leave. That's
he
right.
said, if I never have to see your face again, he's like,
I thought
you're gone.
I thought that's what he said, and
because he's like, this is my city. He's like, I tell you what, I'll get your son back, but you're out of here, and I never have to see you again.
That's what I thought he said, but then I thought, there's no way he's asking a mayor to leave the city. So I just made it my own thing, I guess, in my head, because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But all right, that's how much he hates this guy. And he's troubled. And I love that we don't know anything about him. We don't know anything about it. Like, they go into a little bit of dirt they did as cops, but we don't really know why Tom Hardy is such a just on the edge maniac the entire movie.
I like rooting for a bad guy, a guy that you know is crooked and wrong, but he's the hero of the story.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, and he's not. He's rotten.
It makes me feel better about my life story.
He's rotten and crooked, but he's like just a little above the other rotten crooked cops because he didn't want to be rotten and crooked. I think's the thing there. All right, SWAT shows up. They blow everybody away. It's a Christmas movie.
It is.
Christmas Eve.
I thought it was an odd timing to put this movie out.
I did too. I thought, well, I could have waited. It barely comes into play. There's no Santas. There's no Christmas lights.
There's a lot of Christmas music, though.
There's Christmas music. I'm trying to think if there's lights. I'm surprised you didn't have a bunch of Christmas lights in some scene.
Somebody gets choked with lights. And
I mean, why not?
It would have been a great little fight scene thing.
So we've pretty much set it up. That's the movie, and from there it just turns into shootout after
massacre after massacre,
fight after fight. Homicide scene. It's kind of cool. You get to see that he's kind of a good detective.
He's kind of speaking of Boondock Saints. He's kind of Defoe's character there a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's what instantly struck me. I was like, oh God, He's Willem Dafoe in Boondock.
I would totally see that. Yeah, he comes into the homicide scene and he reimagines like what happened in there.
It was the scene the shot that sold me on that theory was whenever he looks over and the gun's right here.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
that's like Boondock Saints. Which is, if you're gonna throw a little homage or steal a little part from it, that's a great thing to steal.
And almost immediately, pretty sweet scene where Forrest and his little caravan are going somewhere, and
they're trying to talk him into getting
going
undercover, being safe,
get out of town, and he's like, "This is my town. I'm safe here, or whatever." And the triad,
if I'm not safe here, I'm not safe there. It doesn't matter where I'm at; they can get to me.
And Gareth Evans loves a pretty lady on a motorcycle with a helmet. Like his movies are just full of ladies on bikes with helmets. They come by, they drop off a couple chicks, and they get up on top of the car, each side of the car. Is that his wife with him?
I think it's his aide.
His aide. Yeah. Okay, I couldn't, because he doesn't seem to be upset at all that she goes to run away and they blow her away. Yeah, the driver gets blown away. Nasty.
It's awesome.
God,
it's awesome.
It's crazy looking.
Shotgun through the window, just like, from 3 feet away.
He also loves a petite lady with a big gun.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
To be his thing. But it's cool. It's cool. They take everybody out except for Whitaker, and then we meet the mother of the kid that got killed in the shootout.
Yeah, the drug dealing triad.
Yes, and she's like, "I'm
leader.
You took my son. I'm gonna take yours." Which she does find out by the end, if we don't get to it, that it wasn't them. It was actually the cops, and it's kind of how the movie ends with the big shootout between the cops and the triads, and Tom Hardy's there, and the kids are there. And here's my favorite shot. I have to get to. It's when he goes to the nightclub to find the girlfriend of Forrest's son. The camera starts out way up in the sky. It's like looking at down the street, and it's on the side of a building. And then it moves, and it turns left, and comes all the way down to the street. And then you're next to Tom Hardy's car, and you're looking in the car. He gets out of the car, and then the camera moves back behind his shoulders, and then it follows him. Goodfellas style, for like 40 feet as he goes all through the city, all through a crowd of people, into the nightclub, follows him all the way into the nightclub, up all the... Oh, no, it doesn't. It does something even cooler. It gets into the nightclub, and we follow him until he gets to a set of stairs, and it does the same move it did earlier. It starts coming up, and then that's when I was like, how's he doing this? The camera was up in the sky, came all the way down to the car, followed him into the club. Now it's coming back up in the air. And like those are easy to do if you have cranes or a wire set up or whatever, but not in one shot.
I think they're bringing drones.
It is almost like they have a drone that is handheld, and that might be a thing that they have now. And then they just let it go, and they take it up, because then it goes right back to behind him, and you keep following him.
China. They're doing amazing things with drones nowadays, but we'll never know.
I'm gonna get the raid guy to get drones for us. I hear that you can control them. They come down.
They don't just fly on their own like ours.
This is amazing. These things are beautiful. They fly down on their own, is what they tell me. And you can grab them.
Ours, you have to throw like paper airplanes and just whatever.
You can't even use one of ours without getting the death penalty. It's bad. It's bad.
Drones.
But that was my favorite shot of the movie.
Are they drones or drones?
Well, it depends what country you're in. If you're a rapist,
Argentina.
If you're a rapist, pronounce drones.
Drones.
Much like a cajone.
Hey.
That was a bad joke. I apologize to the cucks of Carbondale. I might have offended. In the midnight hour.
Is this gonna air? Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to. It's Sunday. Something's got to go up tomorrow. It's this or nothing.
This is just dead air.
It's this or me just talking to myself.
The biggest show we do is just dead air. best ratings, most comments.
I just turn on meditation music on the computer and put the
People
microphone
love it.
up to it. Yeah, it's just the board lights up. More of this, please.
Caller 3. What? I love this episode. Nobody even answered. It's just on a answering machine.
Answer machine just happens.
This episode was so relaxing.
Caller number 5, you're on the air. That would be, I mean, no one has answering machines anymore. But back in the day, that would have been such a great answering machine.
Yeah.
To make
Caller 5, you're on
somebody
I never thought of that.
think that they misdialed. WDX, caller number 5, you're on the air. You even get somebody that's not you.
For a chance to win your front row Super Bowl tickets, answer this question. Who are you and what do you want? We'll announce the winners live on air.
Tune in Monday night.
Or I'll call you back. Either way.
Leave your name and number after the beep. I used to have the Homer, the entire do the message, beep, do, like all the way through to after the beep. Like it's the entire measures of the song. I also used to have the dude, whatever his was.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was now, but I had that as my answering machine message for a long time.
I had one. It was like, if you're my parents, leave a message. If you're my friends, leave a message. If you're a bill collector, I did a really bad accent.
Oh no,
to
Italian.
These.
No. Okay.
But yeah,
Native
But it was
Leprechaun.
it was hysterical. to
Ouch.
me. I don't think anybody ever was really calling me at that time, so I don't know if anybody ever heard it. Other
really
than
funny.
Other than bill collectors.
Somebody's gonna call that old number. Cocaine. Yeah, I much like the next movie. Well, I took more notes on this one than I did the next movie.
When they threw the washing machine out of the back of the truck full of cocaine, which I figured was like fentanyl, heroin, I thought it's like this guy's dead or
Yeah.
not. Which he should have been anyway with cocaine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because that was like it gets everywhere. They're like, he's breathing that in.
yeah, they threw that washing machine pretty easily.
Yeah, it's true. That would have been a tough job. Now,
A dryer's a much lighter thing, but it doesn't have the door.
if
right
they
here.
would have just like tumbled it out, that I could get.
Yeah, because the car was so close anyway.
you know what I mean. You both got behind.
Anyway,
it, like
we're nitpicking. Really, it's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I was nitpicking there.
Oh, that's fun. When he goes to the doctor and he's getting the bullet out of the guy.
Yeah.
And then we find out like the guy works for him. It's pretty cool. So that's a total Gareth Evans scenes where he goes in. He's like, the doctor's like, oh, whatever. He tortures the guy to get some info out of him. He passes out, and then Tom Hardy says to him, you shouldn't have drugged him up this much. I can't get any information when they're this drugged up, you idiot. Like next time.
First of all, you're supposed to call me.
You're supposed to call me.
I had to do actual
I had
detective work
to
to find
actually
this.
do work. You're supposed to call me as soon as this guy's in your room or whatever. So you find out he works out. The second cool thing about that is he is the interpreter. So Tom's saying like, who did this? Who did the blah blah blah? Who did this? I need to know. He's telling it, and then the doctor is interpreting, saying it's here. You need to go here. But as soon as he leaves, he turns to the guy and he says,
"Yeah, the guy's like, you're a rat.
You're a rat. You ratted." And he says specifically, "You ratted me out," which I guess means he was telling Tom Hardy the truth and was telling that guy. I guess. Is that what you took it as? I took it as that guy was involved. The doctor was involved. And that guy told Tom Hardy, it's him. He's involved in this. That's who you need to ask.
Yeah.
It's not me. And he told him, well, you actually need to go here. And just didn't give him the translation.
Yeah.
I wish I knew someone who spoke the language that could tell me what he was actually saying. Because they don't translate him. They only translate through the other guy.
Yeah.
But I found that really a fun twist. That when he left, he was like, "You ratted me out," and
He just
like,
grabs
with a piece of glass or something.
No, I think it was a scalpel.
Oh yes, that's
It
right.
was-
Yeah, scalpel.
And
he's a
he's
doctor.
just like, you're done.
That was that. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. A crime doc, bullet remove. That's a Raid style shot when he runs in there and grabs the guy and he goes out the window and the camera goes out the window and you see it and then it goes back in the window with it. Very fun, cool fiddle thing. After this, I switched to pencil for some reason and I can't read a frickin' thing. There's a flashback to see the crime that they committed with all the dirty cops. Oh, Luis Guzman shows up for a little while.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in forever. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I had fun seeing him in there. He's like, it's weird though. He's like the father of the chick who's involved with the son. And it seems like he's not involved. And then a scene later, he's got a gun.
Yeah,
He's involved
Well,
in
I
shootout.
think it's just like I'm not involved in this at all, but I'm protecting her at all costs. You know,
He ends up sacrificing himself to the cops, I believe, if I remember right.
Triad.
Or there's the triads.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember who was there after him.
There's just a bunch of them walk up and he shuts the door and just.
You see the door. Do you mind all of the computer-generated gunfire? It's different, and it's.
I think in this day and age, it has to be done.
When you're firing this many rank gun, I think so too.
Yeah, you can't just have a bunch of people shooting. Not to even mention the accidents that have happened.
Yeah.
Over the years.
I think what they're doing now, you have an option when you buy blank guns in movie biz. You can get front firing, and you can get chamber firing, and all that means is ones actually shoot from the front, so you see the fire, and that's all they want. And a very small little piece of cloth does come out of them. However, if you're not real careful, you could put a real bullet in the gun, and it's just a functional gun at that point. It's not, it won't shoot accurately or anything.
Unless you put that red piece of plastic in the barrel. It shows that it's a toy. And that would stop the bullet.
That's right.
I think is how that works.
The other one you can get just fires a fire inside this chamber where the bullet shell, where the shell is, and it just kicks the shell out. But the barrel's blocked, so nothing can go through it. So all it's doing is popping out shells, and you get smoke from the shell. And then you put your fire in later. And that's what they're using in this. But what's cool about it is, though,
I don't know why.
You can have a pistol that fires 50 shots like a machine gun.
Right.
And you don't have to have the actual
There was a couple
firing.
times where I was like, okay.
There's a dude with
He should have freaking reloaded by now. And then by the time I was like, all right, this is getting ridiculous, he stops and reloads.
There are many, like every pistol is a machine gun.
Yeah.
Every machine gun has 1,000 bullets. There's one scene where a person falls down on top of somebody and they're shooting.
Oh, he just unloads the whole clip.
And it just turns bright red inside of them.
Yeah.
As he's, and they finally just fall down from the thing.
I don't have a problem with all of the gunfire from the triads and all these scenes because they just come in waves and there's so many. It's hard to keep track of who's shooting and what.
It's true.
So there's so many, but it's the fire back with the pistol and he shoots 12 times at one guy and then there's 3 more guys that come and he shoots 3 times at each one of those and I'm like, that's a lot of bullets to not reload.
This is my last. I'm just going to read my last couple notes here in the movie. Nightclub shot. Amazing girl. Cop showed up. Amazing. Got away.
Amazing. Cucked him.
Awesome. Mom and something rest. Ambush. End of notes.
I think you nailed it, dude.
Mom.
We could end the episode.
I love the cop showed up. Amazing. Oh, I'm just probably referencing that entire last shootout, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I liked in that and where we're in their cabin.
Yeah.
The cabin scene where he's beat all the chick comes in, he's already beat up and shot, or well, not really shot up, but and then they have their fight scene. She slams him into that supporting beam. The roof part comes down on top of him.
Yes.
She's moving in for the kill.
Yeah, that's right.
And he gets that harpoon gun.
God, that's the
and harpoons her through the neck, and
that's
it's
the
jabs
most
in.
vicious
That was
kill
awesome.
of the movie.
And then she's pulling herself down.
Had to turn away at that point.
She's pulling herself down the harpoon rope,
and he's like,
and he's got that knife. She grabs that knife, and is still like as she's dying.
But he's
trying
got
to stab
the end of the barrel still, so he's like directing her with it with the wire.
Yeah,
So
that was a cool shot.
It was a very
cool scene.
very inventive scene. No, I just realized I'm referencing when the cops show up to the nightclub, and it's just mayhem.
Yeah.
And the guys are beating the crap out of Oliphant, and he's just trying to get to his gun. A couple cops die, like, viciously in that scene. But yeah, then he gets the kids. He takes them back to the cabin. Amazing. They get away. And the
amazing thing about how amazing that is that it's
amazing.
amazing.
It's amazing. Baby, you'd be amazed out the way. He gets him to the cabins. Forrest and the vicious mom show up, and the rat that that caused all this to happen. And we haven't even talked about his partner, the female cop that. Oh yeah,
she was good in it, I thought.
She was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very good, and she's almost like a protagonist of the movie, really. Yeah, she is very good.
What do we do now? I think you should arrest me. That's a great line.
Yes. I think you should arrest me.
I also like that they did. I know we're jumping around. You're trying to talk about scenes, and I'm jumping to the end. But I like that they didn't show exactly.
I did too.
What happened?
They
like, kind of like he's going to get
Yeah.
arrested. He's probably going to prison.
Or he's going to die.
Yeah.
But we don't know. He didn't seem to be hurt that bad, and and she didn't say what she was going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically he gets there, and everybody shows up. They find out that it was the rat, not that was in with the cops. It wasn't the kids that killed her son. So that guy gets killed pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah.
They just, everybody just starts shooting everybody. At the end of it, you got Oliphant and Tom, who are going down a railroad track. Great scene. He's waiting. He's running away from him, and he gets stopped by.
Yeah, he can't quite keep up with the train because he's been shot a few times. So he's like,
he's limping around. Yeah, he's just Oliphant plays it great. He's just annoyed. He's pretty much annoyed. But he plays it cool the entire movie. And he's the dirtiest cop that kind of forced Hardy into the situation he's in.
He's trying to run with a bag of drugs and a gun.
Yeah.
And tries to throw it on the train.
But he gets on the train. And then Tom shoots him and he falls back off with the money. And I love his whole thing of like, why do you care, man?
Yeah.
Why do you?
What does it matter to you?
What does it matter to you? Why do you give a crap? Why just let? It's not your problem. And,
I liked his answer though.
What does he say exactly? I reference my notes.
Well, and he's still trying to.
Amazing.
And he's like, well, you're no better, blah blah.
Yeah, that's right.
We all know what you did. And he's like, no, you know.
You know what I did.
Pow!
Only you
kills
do.
it.
Yeah.
So then,
yeah, because all the other cops are dead.
Which
at that point.
harkens back to, is he still that guy? Is he still that horrible cop?
Yeah.
And he just killed the only loose end that knows that can.
Exactly.
And
and it was very much like, maybe.
But then the pan back, and she's back behind him.
Yeah.
So she's now kind of heard.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really know what she knows and what she understood, and it was a pretty complex, cool.
Yeah,
little.
It was. The kids get away. Forrest dies, saving the kids. Maybe that is when that guy dies. They pick up a gun to shoot the kid, and that's when the main guy dies because he's going to shoot, and then Forrest jumps in front. He gets shot, and then the other guy dies. The rat.
It's hard to keep track
It
of
is
who died
really,
when
it
because
really
there's
is.
a lot
There's
of dying.
just like constantly. But
Had
yeah,
I taken
so
any notes, I'd probably wrote it down. But
that'll be me on the next movie. The kids get away. Forrest dies. And yeah, like we said, Tom is basically sitting like on the edge of a train or something. And yeah, he's like, what am I supposed to? The lady cop's like, what am I supposed to do with you? He's like, arrest me. All horrible things I've done. You seen what I did, or whatever. And what does she say? Does she have any response to him?
I don't recall. I think it just looks. She has that look of contemplation,
like has respect for him. In some ways, like because he seems to be a good detective, despite the fact of the horrible human he is. But yeah, anyway, we don't know.
Yeah,
it's just it ends on him looking like he's also breathing really heavy, and he's been shot, but he doesn't seem to be like bleeding out or anything.
Right.
So my first thought was like, is he dying or is it just? No, well, we'll never know, unless there's a HAVOC 2. I don't know what kind of.
Our sound waves seem to be really small. I don't.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Yeah.
Let's turn it up.
I'll fix it in post. They were clearly working. We just started talking quietly.
Oh
shit. Well,
sorry, Carbondale.
Listen up, you cucks.
You heard most of it.
You heard most of it. He's yeah, it's this time of the show. We always do it. We'll just wrap it up on air. Tie the room together. Yeah, I tied the room together for me. It wasn't one of my favorite Evans movies. I was a little upset that it took the John Wick approach of like, let's make it gung fu.
Yeah, it was Americanized for sure.
It was Americanized. I wish it was more raid style and it was just people fighting. Would have been a lot more fun. But raid style, like I started to say earlier, never got around to it. Essentially, you've seen some of it here with me.
One unending shot and
it's usually
massive casualties.
Yeah, but it's usually like they shoot each other for the first 10 minutes and then everybody runs out of bullets.
Right.
And they're like, well,
kung
time
fu.
to fight. And then it's just kung fu for the next 55 minutes.
Karate.
And that will happen over and over in the movie. Like new guys will show up with guns and then they run bullets and they gotta fight.
I did like the use of other people's guns in this movie, which never happens.
That was very good.
They run out of bullets and then the people they've killed have guns and so they just pick them up and keep going.
It's like a video game. Yeah. Oh, here's a new gun. Ooh, upgrade.
Yeah, it's exactly like a video game. That's what I loved about it. Like, because they never do that.
No, it's true. Yeah, they usually just do this.
They're like, oh, well, I'm out of bullets. And there's
favorite,
40 guns laying around.
My favorite old West and 80s movies when somebody would run out of bullets and then they would throw the
gun.
Like, I couldn't possibly find more bullets for this gun.
Or if I lived through this, I couldn't possibly ever use that gun again because it's out of bullets.
It would be much more handy to throw and never hit anyone. All right. I think it tied the room together. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, good time. HAVOC.
What do you give it?
Check it out.
What do you give it?
I give it 25 bloody bullets.
out of.
That's for just like the movie. It's for the viewer it's for the listener to decide.
I give it a.
I was gonna give it 4 pinky toes. It's a little too dead on.
I give it a B+.
Yeah, for sure.
Right in there. Right in there.
Yeah, I was, like I said, his other movies are better, so I was just slightly let down by it. But I liked them.
I give it 4.2 Folgers cans of ashes out of 5.
Of Ghost Ashes. Be a good strain name if you're listening, fellas. Some of my buddies out there naming them strains. I Am Dar. And Ghost Ashes.
Yeah.
All right, Carbondale. We're actually
a great name for a band too. Ghost Ashes.
Ghost Ashes is pretty good.
Yeah.
Or nowadays it would be Ashes of Ghost.
Yeah.
Because people are stupid. Good night, Carbondale, you cucks. We'll see you next Monday. Cuckoo. I was gonna say the shirt would be Carbondale Cucks, but it would be a proper cuckoo, the actual bird.
Yeah.
No joke or anything about it.
You can't just have some dude sitting in a corner watching his wife in real time.
Maybe. All right.